More than 97 million tons of onions are grown in the world every year, making them one of the most consumed vegetables. To meet this demand, millions of hectares of land are cultivated around the world. But what does the process behind an onion look like? To find out, today we are traveling to a farm dedicated to onion production. The onion is an underground, edible bulb that grows on the plant of the same name. It is a vegetable of Asian origin cultivated since the year 600 before Christ. From Asia, it spread to Europe, from where it passed to America. There is currently a wide range of varieties, which can be classified according to bulb color, shape, size, uses, origin, and earliness. It has many culinary uses and can be used in different ways, either raw or cooked. In addition, it is known to have different medicinal properties. Now, how do you grow this food that has been around for thousands of years? To grow onions effectively, it is essential to choose soils with a pH between 6 and 7.5. If the pH exceeds 8, some essential nutrients may become less available, negatively affecting onion growth. On the other hand, a cholesterol of less than 5 can cause aluminum and manganese toxicity, as well as lead to phosphorus, calcium, and magnesium deficiencies. In addition, farmers prefer to avoid soils with gravel, high levels of salts, extreme acidity or alkalinity, dense clays, or drainage problems, as these conditions harm production. Preparing the soil before planting is crucial to ensure healthy root growth for onions, allowing them to easily access the necessary water and nutrients. This includes cleaning plant residues, improving soil aeration, promoting the decomposition of organic matter, and controlling pests and diseases. The right time to prepare the ground is when soil moisture is optimal. Working soils that are too wet or dry can be difficult and require more time and effort. To check the moisture, farmers can do a simple process, which is to squeeze a handful of soil and observe if it crumbles easily. There are also soil mechanics tests to determine the exact moisture in numbers. On the other hand, if the soil is too compact, you should wait and do a plow job with machinery for the sowing process to be successful. Preparing the ground for growing onions should not exceed a depth of 45 centimeters, especially in heavy soils, to avoid exposing the subsoil. On flat areas, 2 plowing passes and 2 rakes are usually sufficient, provided the soil moisture is adequate. In clay soils, it is crucial that the soil is not too wet to prevent clods from forming, which might require the use of a rototiller to break them down. After preparing the land, it is important to raise the beds where the onions will be planted. These beds should be raised between 15 and 20 centimeters above ground level and have a width of between 1 and 2 meters from furrow to furrow. The width of the bedstop can vary depending on the equipment used, but it is critical that it is well defined and leveled to ensure optimal operation of the planters and uniform drip irrigation. Raising the beds improves root development, provides an area of loose soil that prevents warping, and facilitates the absorption of water and nutrients. In addition, beds should have an adequate slope to allow good drainage without causing erosion or poor drainage problems. It is important that the soil at the top of the bed is well pulverized, with no clods or undecomposed crop residue. These conditions facilitate the efficient use of onion no-till equipment, resulting in rapid and uniform germination. Once the beds have been plowed and formed in the ground, a sealant and a herbicide are applied simultaneously to eliminate the grass present in the plot and prevent the appearance of weeds. This sealing protects the plot for about 20 to 30 days. Subsequently, the land is settled. This involves watering the furrows to make sure they are well moistened. If the soil doesn't have good moisture when planting onions, they may dry out. This watering should be done one day before planting. It is important that each furrow has moisture up to the edge of the bed, as this is where the onions will be planted. The water in the furrows infiltrates slowly until the beds are well moistened, but not saturated. After 24 hours, the planting of the onions begins. For this task, a crew of people specialized in the planting of onions is hired, since it requires skill to uproot, cut, and plant each onion. From the greenhouse, the plants are plucked one by one and grouped into bunches. Each worker is responsible for planting all the onion plants they cut in a day. In the greenhouse, onion seeds are sown and cut at the right time, usually 45 to 50 days after planting. At this time, it's crucial to start getting the onion stalks for planting. Workers handle onion seedlings carefully to avoid damaging them. This process is done gently, lightly shaking the plants to remove dry soil from the roots, which helps them adhere better to the new soil. Although specialized machinery exists, Many farms prefer this manual method because it reduces plant loss. After picking the seedlings from the greenhouse, the workers move to the prepared ground. There, they prepare the plants, taking them out of the protective bags and leveling them out. They trim the roots a bit to prevent them from shifting, as they could dry out. They then proceed to planting. Seedlings that are too thin are discarded because they don't have sturdy stems and would dry out once planted. Workers bury each onion stalk with their fingers, compacting the soil slightly so that the seedling fits snugly. The onions are transplanted one by one into the furrows on both sides. This work is exhausting, but a crew of 10 people can plant up to 1 hectare a day. Each onion plant should be spaced 6 to 7 centimeters apart. It is essential that the furrows have water so that the plants can establish themselves better, and so that the workers can wipe the mud from their hands during planting. Ants around the crop should be eliminated, as they can damage the plants. Once the onion seedlings have been transplanted, an abamectin-based bait is used to control the ants. 8 days after the onion is transplanted, it should be fumigated to prevent diseases and insects that can damage the plantation, as well as apply a stimulant to generate more roots and be able to get out of the transplanting stress faster. Spray pumps are used to reach every corner of the plant. Onion cultivation does not require large amounts of water, although it does need regular watering during the formation and growth of the plant. After sowing or planting, sprinkler irrigation system is used to water and ensure that as many plants as possible are established. Once the crop is underway, onions need watering every 3 to 4 days, depending on the area, rainfall, and evapotranspiration. Towards the end of the cycle, watering should be restricted to prevent waterlogging and rotting. After 2 to 4 months, the onions are ready for harvest. A crew of farmers pulls them out by pulling their stems, cleaning them lightly, and arranging them in piles. They are then loaded onto trucks and transported to processing plants. On a daily basis, these plants receive thousands of onions. The trucks unload the goods into a tanker that can hold tons of onions. The cistern washes them quickly to remove excess soil and then pipes them onto conveyor belts. These belts take the onions to a roller that separates them into different channels, sorting them by size to maintain a uniform production line. The onions continue their way through the canals until they reach a tape that detects their weight. If they meet the required weight, the belt unfolds and the onions fall into specific baskets. Those that do not reach the weight continue their journey until they are stacked. In this way, the onions are sorted to offer products of different sizes and maintain uniformity in production. Subsequently, the onions are fed into an automated machine that fills and seals the bags with a specified weight of 20 kilograms. These sacks are then conveyed by belts to a system that stacks them on pallets and wraps them in protective plastic to preserve their freshness. Finally, the pallets are loaded onto trucks with forklifts and shipped to commerce in the cities. And this is all the work behind the onions you find in the establishments. Tell me, what did you think of the process? If you liked the video, click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In the windows that you will see below, there are more videos that may catch your attention. Go ahead and watch some of them.